Hi everyone, Sandy Vale here at Homesteading Ways, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pumpkin pie with fresh pumpkin. Okay, one of the first questions people have is what kind of pumpkin can I use? And the number one pumpkin of choice for pumpkin pies is the sugar pie pumpkin. They're smaller like this, they're fine grained, they don't have any of that stringiness really in them, and they have a high sugar content and they're great for pies. And this is one that I grew myself this year, but this is another one that I grew, and this one is actually on the small side, but this is called a red warty thing, and the bigger ones in particular do have lots of bumps all over them that look like warts, and they're brighter red, and so it's a great pumpkin. But the reason why I chose this one to grow and to use, because I'm going to be canning up pumpkin and freezing pumpkin and all kinds of stuff like that, was because it was also highly recommended for eating because it's a cross. I'm not sure what kind of pumpkin it was crossed with, but it's crossed with pumpkin and Hubbard squash. And it too is a stringless variety. It's a nice grain and on the sweeter side. However, you can use almost any variety of pumpkin for a pie. Even if it is a little bit more on the stringy side, once you have it cooked up and you're mashing it or blending it, however you're doing it, you can work a lot of that stringiness out. But anyhow, today I'm going to be using the sugar pie pumpkin. Use a small pumpkin or a medium size. Just know that the bigger the pumpkin you use, the extra pumpkin you're going to have. And that's okay because you can store that pureed pumpkin. But let me get going here on showing you how to get in the oven. Okay, get your pumpkin ready by cutting it in half and taking out all the seeds and the stringy stuff. Save those seeds for roasting because they're awesome. Also, they make a great treat for your chickens and they're highly nutritious. So if you're not going to eat them yourself, give them to your chickens. Or save the seeds and share them with your friends and neighbors come next spring. But anyhow, cut them in half, flip it this way, and then you're going to put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about an hour, 15 minutes. Start checking it at about an hour. You want it really, really soft. And yes, this is ugly here. This is damage earlier while it was still growing from, I think, a squirrel, but it could have been a chipmunk. But it healed over, and the pumpkin inside is still wonderful. Okay, you're going to want to assemble all the rest of your ingredients. And there's not a lot, but to start with, I baked a deep dish pie crust. You can make your own, but this is one that I bought frozen because, you know, I wanted to save a little bit of time. 2 eggs, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, salt, and a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. And that's it. That's all you need to make this pie, besides, of course, the pumpkin. Okay, the pumpkin is fresh out of the oven, and look at it steaming. It's so hot. It is super soft. See how you can, easily, that spoon goes right through it? That's what you're looking for. And this was only after an hour. So that's why I say make sure to check starting at an hour, but it may take as long as an hour and 15 minutes. Anyhow, I'm going to let this cool down just a little bit, and then I'm going to scoop it all out, mash it, and then measure out because you're going to want 2 cups of puree. Also, you can cube this up and boil it on the stove until tender. However, I just feel you get a better flavor when you roast it. And I think all the wonderful vitamins and minerals stay in the flesh when you roast it as opposed to boiling it. But if you are short on time, you can boil it on the stove. However, if you can take that extra step and bake it, you will love it. It's a rich, beautiful taste. Alright, you guys, look at how much I got out of those 2 halves. That's a good amount of pumpkin right there. And you're not going to add anything to it right now. You can either go ahead and get your potato masher and start mashing away. You can put this in the blender. You can use a mixer if you want. I'm going to use a stick mixer. And what you're doing is you want to get this as finely pureed as you can. So this is how I'm going to do it. it's so soft, it's super easy. And yes, it's still hot. That's why I'm making sure not to bring this up when there's food still in it. I think it's pretty much ready. Time to measure it out. Okay, I have my 2 cups of pumpkin puree measured out. But before we get on to the rest of the recipe, I just want to let you guys know, go right now and preheat your oven to 425. You do it right now. By the time you're done making this all up, you'll only have to wait a few minutes till it's ready to put your pie in. Okay, we're going to crack our eggs. I have 2 large eggs. Get those in there first. We're just going to mix them in. Nothing fancy. I really like this pie for its simplicity. You know, maybe it may take, you know, a little while to get it, you know, all together between baking your pumpkin and whatever, but it's so worth it. You don't need a lot of ingredients, just simple whole foods. You know, maybe the sweetened condensed milk. If you could make it yourself, that'd be great. I mean, some people wouldn't consider that a good whole food, but considering what some people have put in pies, I don't consider it all that bad. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is put in our spices. We're going to use a ½ teaspoon for most of them. I'll put my ½ teaspoon of salt. And check the description box because I will have all the ingredients in there as well. So a ½ teaspoon of salt, a ½ teaspoon of the ground nutmeg, a ½ teaspoon of the ginger, and then we're going to use a full teaspoon of cinnamon. Now if you don't have all these spices, or if you happen to have pumpkin pie spice, then go ahead and use that. I would say to use about a teaspoon and a half of the pumpkin pie spice. These are such rich, warming spices. They're just wonderful, especially for this time of the year when the, you know, fall and winter, when the temperatures start dropping and you want to warm up. These spices will warm you internally. Just mix that in a little bit. And then we're going to add the milk. And that's all the sugar you're going to need. Sweetened condensed milk is pretty sweet. Make sure to get it all out of the can. It'll stick sometimes on the bottom. Stir it well. You don't want like any thick spots of pumpkin where you didn't mix it in with the milk or the spices. Now I had about 3 cups, a little over, of pureed pumpkin. If you have extra, put it in the fridge and use that for, you know, cookies and and pancakes and cakes and breads and muffins and all kinds of things. You can also put it in a freezer bag or airtight container and freeze it, so you always have it on hand for a bunch of recipes. Okay, it looks good to me. We're going to pour it into this pie shell, which broke a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Oh geez Louise, I might have had too much. Hope it doesn't bake over. I think my tin is not straight. Okay, now obviously I'm going to put this on a baking sheet because I don't want it, you know, bubbling over and dripping all over my stove. Okay, I have it at the 425 for the 15 minutes. Once that 15 minutes is up, we're going to turn the temperature down to 350. We're not going to open the oven, just turn it down to 350 and continue to bake the pie for an additional 35 to 40 minutes. I'm going to check it at 35 minutes. And then that's when you do the knife test. You just take a butter knife and put it in the center there and pull it out. And if nothing's sticking to it, then your pie is ready. Okay, the timer's gone off. So we're going to change the temperature to 350. And then we're going to time it out for 35 minutes. It might take 40, but for now we're going to put it at 35 so we can check it. It looks like it's ready, but just to be on the safe side, it is fabulous. Okay, we're going to let this cool down for, geez, I'd say at least 20 minutes before cutting into it to see how it turned out on the inside and what it looks like. Okay, you guys, I'm going to cut it up, and I probably should have waited a little longer. I don't think it's, you know, cool enough, but it just smells so good. I want to try it. Oh, dang it, lost the bottom part of the crust there, which is kind of okay because I'm not a big fan of crust. But I'll cut it out here anyhow and put it on the plate. Can you see that? Oh, it looks fabulous. I gotta get it. Oh my gosh, you guys, this pie is so great. Try it. You need to make it for yourself and you'll see how much better it is than the store-bought kind or even the canned pumpkin puree. Definitely worth the extra effort. I want to let you know I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Let me know down in comments what your favorite pie is. I'd like to hear about it. Also, please remember to go visit my website, homesteadingways.com. It is filled with all kinds of homesteading information, articles, videos, all kinds of stuff. Go over there and take a look. It was really nice talking to you guys, and you take care.